I was talking to myself today, and I said, Self, it's time to do Act Two. And I said to myself, well, Self, isn't it weird, though, because Act Two, Scene One is that weird scene. And I said back to myself, yes, I know. That's the one that usually people edit out, the first part of it. Now, why do they edit it out? Well, because it's this kind of bizarre scene that sits in the middle of nowhere where Polonius is talking to his man, it's how it's written in the script, his man, Ronaldo. And he's talking to Ronaldo, and it goes something like this. Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 1. Polonius says to his man, Ronaldo, hey, Ronaldo, I want you to follow Laertes to France. You know, my son, Laertes, he's gone back to France where he does stuff. Now, Ronaldo, I need you to follow him around, and I need you to figure out, I don't know, what's he up to? What kind of funny stuff is he doing? You could go up to people and say, hey, do you know Laertes? I've heard that he does stuff. You know, like kind of bad stuff, but not like really bad stuff. But just like, you know, enough bad stuff that he's kind of really cool. And then you're going to find all of his secrets, and then you're going to tell me all about him. It's going to be great. And then, you know, report back. The second part of Act 2, Scene 1 usually is in productions because it's a little less random. Ophelia comes running in, and she tells Polonius that Hamlet has just come to her room. Totally messed up. His clothes are all messed up, he's crying, he's shaking, he's white as a sheet, and he's got the bug eyes going, and he's just sad and messed up. And he grabs her by the arms and he looks at her. Doesn't say anything, just looks at her being upset, and then sighs and sort of throws himself around a little bit and leaves. To which she then goes straight to Polonius and tells him. And Polonius asks, well, hey, have you done anything weird? You know, anything like mean? Have you been mean to him at all? And Ophelia says, well, I mean, you said that I had to break up with him and not talk to him. And if he gave me presents that I had to like kick him in the leg or whatever. But I mean, that's the only thing. And Polonius says, oh, well, obviously he's gone mad with love for you because he loves you and you broke up with him. And so he's gone mad. So this is all your fault. And Ophelia is very upset by this. Polonius decides they have to go tell Claudius, King Claudius, about the fact that she's driven Hamlet mad with her, you know, feminine wiles. Act 2, Scene 2. Claudius and Gertrude greet Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, who have arrived here at Elsinore Castle. They were friends of Hamlet's from childhood, and Claudius and Gertrude have asked them to come to the castle to find out what's bothering Hamlet. I mean, he's been acting so weird, and we just want to know why. So what you're going to do, you're such good friends with him, what you're going to do is you're just going to talk to him, okay, and you're going to find out his secrets, and then you're going to tell them to us, and we'll give you lots of money. Cool? Now, whether or not Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are actually, you know, not good people, or whether or not they're sort of played as being part of this web of deception and deceit and everybody spying on everybody else, that's kind of up for debate. To me personally, I like to think of them as actually being good friends of Hamlet's that are just kind of dumb, and so they don't really see what they're doing as being bad. We get an update from Polonius that the ambassadors to Norway bring good news. Fortinbras probably not going to invade. It's going to be just fine. Polonius reminds Claudius and Gertrude of his daughter Ophelia. And he tells them, okay, guys, you know how I have a daughter named Ophelia? Well, she and Hamlet kind of were a thing. Now, I told her, just thinking of you guys, that she couldn't go out with Hamlet because, you know, he's a prince and she's not. Gross. So she broke up with him, but here's the deal. I think that's why he's acting crazy, because she broke his heart. Now, in the past, whenever Hamlet has given Ophelia love letters, I've taken them, and I'm going to read some to you now. Here's one that he's written her. Oh my God, it's so bad. Okay. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh my God, he's so dumb. Anyway, so I think that because she broke up with him, that's why Hamlet's acting crazy. Gertrude, Claudius, and Polonius see Hamlet coming. This is the time of day that he usually does his sad walks. So Claudius and Gertrude leave. Polonius confronts Hamlet, tries to check in with how he's doing. Hamlet is violently weird at Polonius until Polonius leaves. At this moment, in come Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and Hamlet is legitimately excited to see them. He's like, oh my gosh, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, this is so great to see you. What brings you guys here to Castle Elsinore? And they're like, stuff, things and stuff. That's why we're here. Nothing suspicious. And Hamlet's like, okay, were you guys sent here to spy on me? No. Yes, we were. And Hamlet's like, oh my God, everyone is spying on me. You know what? I'll give you guys a freebie. I'll tell you why. And then you can tell the king. I'll just tell you why I'm not doing awesome, okay? Basically, I look around me and I see the earth and it's just terrible. And I look above me and I see the sky above and it's just terrible. And I look at my fellow humans, the people around me, humankind. Oh my gosh, it's like angels, like gods. And they're just a pile of dust. Everything is terrible. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern try to cheer him up by saying, hey, but Hamlet, guess what? The actors are coming. And Hamlet's like, ooh, I love the actors. They have come and they're going to perform and it's going to be awesome. Hamlet is super psyched. The actors arrive. Hamlet messes with Polonius a bit more. He watches the actors, particularly the head actor. He's so moved by the head actor's ability to change his emotions and the way that he looks over a fictional character that he's just overcome. And he thinks, if this actor had to kill his uncle, the actor could do it. He would drown the stage in tears. Stop. Okay, hang on a second. The Royal Shakespeare Company, while everyone's on remote quarantine, has actually been utilizing their actors to help students with Shakespeare questions. So students can send in questions they have about Shakespeare and Shakespeare plays to the Royal Shakespeare Company, and different actors from the company will answer them. This morning, David Tennant actually did a video that he was asked the question, what's your favorite soliloquy in Hamlet? His favorite, at least his favorite to play, happens to be this soliloquy here, the "Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I." So instead of me telling you about it, I'm going to have him tell you about it.
Hello, David Tennant here. I'm answering a question from students in associate schools. Now, the question I've been asked is, what is your favorite Hamlet soliloquy and why? I suppose my favorite in performance was always, "Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I." So Hamlet's just seen the players visiting Elsinore, and he loves them. He loves actors. He loves the theatre, and he sees them. He sees one of the players do a speech about Hecuba, and he brings tears to his eyes, and he is deeply emotional. They go off, and Hamlet punishes himself with the idea that this man can turn himself into a pretzel of emotion about something that means nothing to him. He makes this imaginative leap and there are tears pouring down his face, and yet here am I with a murdered father and I can't rouse myself to do anything. For the first part of the speech, he's sort of castigating himself, punishing himself, loathing himself for all his perceived inadequacies. And yet as the speech goes on, he manages to find this passion and fire himself up. He hits on a plan. He's going to use the theatre to catch out his uncle. And once he's got the proof of his uncle's guilt, then everything will be fine. So he moves within that speech. It's a beautiful speech to say, of course, but the journey of it, he moves from someone who feels like he has nowhere to go and has no tools at his command to make his situation any better. And by the end of it, he's full of energy, full of motive, ready to take on the world, and more specifically his uncle. Of course, it's not going to be that simple, and lots of other things are about to go wrong for him. Just that trajectory and the way he mounts an argument, takes himself on that psychological journey. I think that was always my favourite speech to play. But then tomorrow I might change my mind again. There's a lot of great speeches in Hamlet.
I'm actually going to bring us back to our Royal Shakespeare production of Hamlet that we were using in class. So here's David Tennant as Hamlet doing the speech.
Now I'm alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her workings all his visage wand, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit. And all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage in tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, dull and muddy metal rascal, pink, like John o' Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pater cross, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie of the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Huh? Swoons, I should take it! For it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal. Bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain, oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I. This is most brave. That I, the son of a dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion, violent foe about my brains. I have heard that guilty creatures, sitting at a play, have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it had no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tent him to the quick if he but blench. I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, aimed perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he's very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.